Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. We're here once again with Bretonnia. They are going to be taking on the foul Greenskins. This is actually Shetland Apache versus Slate X, so two very good players going to be squaring off here. And let's get straight to the army compositions. For Bretonnia, nice and wide with plenty of Knights Errant. 4 Knights Errant, 2 on each flank, with the 2 Grail Knights in the center. With Albric and a Paladin providing that nice Guardian aura. Albric's also, of course, providing that Spirit of the Tempest for additional speed and charge bonus. You can see these Grail Knights up to 83 speed, 84 charge bonus. Very good stuff. We've got a whole line of Peasant Mobs here, some Archers, Holy Wardens, and Beast Slayers of Bastogne, as well as some Spearmen, Damsel Lore of Beasts. For the Green Tide, a whole line of Black Orcs with mixed Goblins. We've also got Orc Airboys, a single unit of Skulkers, some Trolls, plenty of Spider Riders as well. Spider Rider Archers already doing some skirmishing out on the flanks there. And some additional Spider Riders hidden in the rear there. Yeah, Grimgor leading the way. He's got a Night Goblin Shaman here, Vindictive Glare, and it looks like Gork will fix it. Yep, for that minus speed and charge bonus, going to be very good against Bretonnia. Right off the bat, you can see the peasants going to be sacrificed into some Black Orcs here. These peasants even get Wiston's Wild Forms for some additional armor and weapon damage, which is absolutely not going to help them at all. But, you know, it's a good attempt. And you can see here, I didn't quite catch it, but Grimgor got popped by a nice Amber Spear there. And these Grail Knights just flatten the Goblins, come in, get a nice side charge on these Black Orcs as well. Oh. Not sure who he's trying to pop there with that missile. Thought he was going to shoot that. Maybe it didn't quite get off, but it looks like the smoke bomb also just missed there. Did not catch either unit of Grail Knights. Meanwhile, over on the side, these Knights Errant going to be sweeping up and around the flank to get in on these Archers here. Same thing with these Knights Errant over on the far side. Knights Errant are just such a cost-effective unit right now for their charge bonus. A relatively cheap unit with good armor, not the best combat stats, but 54 charge for only 700 points. And 80 armor, so not bad at all. Over here, they're going to wreck these Orc Airboys. Meanwhile, the Grail Knights charging up the hill to try and bail out these Peasant Archers if they can. Going to sweep away the Spider Riders relatively quickly, but unfortunately that unit of Archers, it looks like they might actually hold their leadership together. Peasants in the front being eaten up, though, no problem. And over here, these Knights Errant have done some good damage to these Orc Airboys. They might want to pull away now. Meanwhile, over here, they're also able to take out Spider Riders, which... you think about it, the Knights Errant are only 200 points more expensive than the Spider Riders, which is not a huge difference, to be honest. But, yeah, some peasants regrouping up on the high ground. You can see the Archers are able to mostly get free here and start firing on the Trolls, which is going to be a very good target. Nice Amber Spear hits the Night Goblin Shaman. He takes quite a bit of damage there, but he's going to respond with a Vindictive Glare, and that basically one-shots the Damsel. And so she's going to be out of there. The Trolls taking a charge from the Grail Knights, who are then going to also overrun into these Black Orcs here. Needless to say, those Trolls just got absolutely wrecked. And yeah, now the Night Goblin's also going to potentially take a charge here. Ooh, it looks like they are coming in to wreck the nasty Skulkers who had these Knights Errant pinned in. Grimgor also gets in here with the Flying Elbow, takes out a few Knights Errant with each swing. But unfortunately, he can really only do so much, up to 27 kills so far. But still, Albric and the Knights going to pull away there as the Black Orcs come to reinforce. Black Orcs up on the high ground have mostly broken through, but the brave high-end Bretonnian infantry here, the Beast Slayers of Bastogne, holding the line quite well. They do have 53 melee defense, which is pretty serious, so even the Black Orcs, when they're spiked up with Wa, 57 melee attack is still going to not be the best chance to hit, so the Beast Slayers will actually hold the line there quite well. Same can't be said of the Holy Wardens, who got absolutely swept away by these Black Orcs here, as is expected. But the Knights should be coming around to bail them out relatively soon. Where are they? Looks like they're riding over here with Albric, just repositioning, regrouping. We've got some Knights Errant here, some regrouped Knights Errant here. So yeah, coming in for a massive cavalry alpha strike, if you will. Not really an alpha strike, but just humor me. This uphill charge is going to be a little bit rough, not going to be quite as impactful, especially because the Knights Errant decided at the last second to pull away there, but they're now going to go after these Black Orcs here and then try and reunify Grail Knights up on the high ground, charging these Black Orcs. So yeah, the Beast Slayer's in a bit of a pickle here, as they are kind of getting surrounded by Black Orcs, but here comes the Bretonnian charge in the late game. Oh yeah, beautiful stuff. And while those Grail Knights are juiced up with the Spirit of the Tempest, Alberic himself also has 92 charge bonus on his horse, which is quite impressive. But yeah, you can see this multiple kind of sweeping in and out charges with units of Cav. It's nice cycle charging. It's going to be very brutal for these Black Orcs to deal with. Granted, Black Orcs with their heavy armor and heavy mass will be able to stand up relatively okay to this, but you can see over time the balance of power is starting to creep more and more in Bretonnia's favor. The peasants able to shoot in here a little bit, just do some extra leadership damage. Beast Slayers actually rout off that unit of Black Orcs, and now another charge into this unit of Black Orcs. The Grail Knights, the ones sort of layering in and out here, and then the Knights Errant following up, seeing their example. Alberic mixed in, of course, with all of them, buffing up their charge bonuses for even more value. And yeah, it's just going to be a very tough situation overall for the Greenskins, as the Knights can just go this way and that, sweep in and out. Very nice play here by Shilling Apache. I know he's a big fan of Bretonnia. Definitely tough to take on Slade X's Greenskins, and I do think, you know, from a build perspective, personally, I really like the Arachnarok Queen here, because the Spider Summons are just so good for stopping up enemy heavy cavalry. Basically gives you a bunch of free Spider Riders, not quite, but they would especially do well against the Knights Errant in either chasing them off the battlefield or just generally bogging them down. But at this point, things are pretty far out of favor for the Greenskins. Especially these boys here, unfortunately just standing and taking it from the peasant archers. It's not going to do a lot of damage, you know, with each shot, but over time it will start to tell, especially with that high volume of fire. Peasant archers actually are super solid for the cost. You know, they're just terrible, absolutely awful melee stats. But of course, 3 AP per shot, very good range, very good unit overall for the Bretonnian roster. They do have quite good archers for the cost. And of course the Knights doing their duty, wrecking the Black Orcs here, the Shaman's done for. Grimgor and just a few Orcs still holding out here in the center, but those Knights are going to continue ping-ponging them, as the other boys are just standing and taking it there in the open ground. So, very fun battle. Well played to both players. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. We'll just sit in cinematic range as Vengeful Grimgor. Not too happy about this situation. Gonna give up the fight in just a moment, but not before taking out a few more Knights here with each swing. Getting lanced from all sides though, and that is gonna be game. So very well played, fun stuff. Always a great time when we get to see you know, Grimgor and some of these other units in action. Unfortunately, just wasn't quite enough at the end of the day against Bretonnia. This build for Shetland, very wide with a lot of very cost-effective units and kind of hitting everything you need. You've got your counter skirmish, some cost-effective archers, you've got some decent infantry to hold up. 58 kills on the Beast Slayers as well, not bad at all. Personally, I would have liked to have seen the Manticore summon from the Damsel, just for the extra terror. There's actually no terror at all in this build, which I think is a little bit of a mistake against the Greenskins. Granted, it wouldn't have been amazing against this particular Greenskins build, just because it was very heavy on the Black Orcs, who, of course, racked up a ton of kills, just absolutely mopping up peasants, even doing a lot of damage to the Knights Errant. But you can see also, likewise, I was talking about cost effectiveness earlier. Man, talk about value here for Knights Errant. I know a lot of these are goblins, but still, 131, 107, 132, 108. Just excellent value for the price on Knights Errant. They might be the most cost-effective heavy cavalry in the game right now, just because they're so cheap for what they can do. And against factions with squishy, you know, low armor infantry, which is most factions nowadays, they can generate a huge amount of value. Of course, the Grail Knights also doing plenty of heavy lifting against the more elite targets, and as you would expect, doing quite well, racking up chevrons all across the board. I really like the use of that Spirit of the Tempest, just sort of using Alberic more as a support type lord to buff up the charge bonus, that constant charge bonus and speed buff. Of course, just it synergizes so nicely with the high charge Bretonnian units, of course. From the Greenskins standpoint, you know, far be it for me to criticize Slate X's build, but just again, I am a big fan of the Arachnarok Queen in this matchup. Bretonnia can have a hard time sometimes taking down big armored monsters. That build, you know, the Grail Knights probably could have, but there honestly weren't too many other tools that could have dealt with the Arachnarok Queen very well. Maybe the Paladin can, I'm not really sure with his bonus versus large. He doesn't have the best AP values though, and of course the Spiderling summons, again, you can use this to just continuously, you know, pick a unit of knights, send the Spiderlings on them, especially Knights Errant who don't have the best combat stats. You can keep them continuously slowed, you know, bog them down, potentially get some other speed debuffs layered in there, and really just slow the game down to your pace, especially with against Bretonnia, of course. You're going to be facing a lot of cavalry potentially, so I am a big fan of the Arachnarok Queen in this particular matchup, but that's sort of all my thoughts on that game. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Hope you enjoyed. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.